to this computer. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Luisa Ruiz. I'm a professor at St. Mary's College, and I'm the director of the Institute for Latino and Latin American Studies. My pronouns are she, hers, yo, ella. And I am so happy to be having this conversation with one of our amazing Brother Camillus ILaLS Student Award recipients for academic year 2024-2025. Rebecca Carranza. I'm going to let her introduce herself and we're going to have a conversation about all the amazing things that she's doing and how she used her award to enrich and supplement her studies and other things. So, Rebecca, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Hi, thank you, Luisa. My name is Rebecca Carranza. I am a third year student at St. Mary's. I'm a politics major and an ethnic studies minor. I use she, her pronouns.
And you're graduating this year, right?
I'm graduating in December,
In
so semester
December.
early. Yeah,
Okay, well, congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
very exciting for you. So I'd love to hear more about the project or event that you used the award for. How did the award impact your educational goals or academic progress?
I used the award money to go to Mexico for the Jan term trip
Mhm.
that they do every year. I had heard already about the Mexico Jan term trip, but I wasn't in, I guess, the grade to receive a scholarship. So I was already kind of like at a disadvantage, but like this year I was able to. However, I didn't receive the scholarship for this year's grade, so the ILaLS scholarship helped me go to that trip. Sorry, I'm a little nervous,
It's okay.
but I think overall the way that it impacted my academic journey was through just like allowing allowing me to like discover a whole new world and not just like read off a textbook, but also see it like in real life and be able to apply it as soon as I read, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
no, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm going to ask you a couple questions just about your Jantum experience. Can you
Okay.
talk about one trip that you took or like a memorable experience that you had down there?
I think one of the memorable ones was when we went to Monte Alban.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and or actually scratch that. It was there were so many, but I think my favorite one actually was when we went to Cholula. And it's Cholula is in Puebla,
Mhm.
and there specifically there's a church that's built on top of a pyramid.
Mhm.
And one of the locals there was telling us about how the reason why there's so many churches built there is because there was so much resistance against the Spaniards and against colonial powers that were trying to take over. And so where there's more churches, that means there was more resistance. And one of the churches that we went to go see there is called Santa Maria Tonancitla.
Mhm.
And in that church, there are like 500 or 700 different sculptures, like all around the church. But embedded within the different Catholic images were were gods of the indigenous people, and it was their way of resisting. And I don't know, for me, that was super mind-blowing, like seeing how much people wanted to keep living, wanted to keep surviving, and wanted their own culture to like just not die out.
Yeah, that's a very impressive church, and the pyramid is, yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
if you had a chance to walk through it, but it's very impressive. So I'm glad you had that experience. And just one last question about the trip. What was your favorite meal? Do you remember eating something you were like, I have to come back for this?
Probably, what's it called? La Tlayuda in Oaxaca.
Oh yeah.
We went to this restaurant and it was so big and I hadn't eaten all day and I ate the whole thing. I even have pictures. Like, it was just so good. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah. And you think to yourself, I'm not going to eat this big old
Yeah, I was like, I'm
yeah,
gonna
with
have to share
everything.
this. It was gone. It
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see some pictures of that when you get a chance. So, I mean, you kind of already spoke about the ways that this trip and the
Mhm,
fact that ILaL supported it was able to help you with your academic progress.
mhm.
How do you think it contributed to your own personal development?
I think as a Latina, I think I've always struggled a little bit with like my identity in being Latina in the United States. And I think that has also influenced like my pursuit or my passions for certain academics. So when I went into ethnic studies, it was like trying to understand more about white supremacy, trying to understand more about like what it meant to be a brown woman in America. And then when I went into politics, it was like understanding the structural process of it. And I feel like this class especially helped me understand it in a more like nationalistic sense.
Mm,
So what does it mean to like attribute my identity to a certain nation or to certain nations? How is my experience being an American and consuming changing my identity and the way that I exercise my citizenship? Like those things, the way that like I perceive myself and others and how I perceive what I consume and how that shapes me in turn. I think that I got that extra perspective of it from this class and from this experience that I feel like otherwise I wouldn't have been able to have in just an ordinary class setting. So yeah, that's what I got from it.
yeah, that's amazing. I'm really, really glad that you had that experience and you were able to think and link together, your own personal journey with
Yeah,
these academic theories and ideas that you've been,
yeah,
which is
definitely.
what are you most proud of related to this trip? Was it maybe that you went off somewhere with a friend? Was it, I don't know, that you spoke Spanish for with somebody for like 10 minutes and you were like, yes? Or what is something that you feel the most proud of on this trip?
I think it's kind of unrelated, but
Ah,
if it's okay.
yeah, totally.
Um, so I had been studying French actually in high school, and I did it a little bit here in St. Mary's as well for a year. And then I've just been doing conversational classes. And while we were over there, I don't remember exactly where it was, but there was this lady and she was had like arguing with her daughter about taking a picture in French, and I completely understood it. And then I stepped in and I was having this whole conversation
Oh,
with her and I
I
was
love
like
it.
helping her out. And I think though, like, even though that was like me, like that
Yeah,
was completely different, I guess, in a way it's still connected to what our experience was in the sense of globalization, the impact that that has had on Mexico, on Latin America, in America especially, like we are living in the center of globalization,
yeah,
but just being able to see how much that has actually impacted every single nation in this world, I guess,
yeah.
is insane. So it was kind of like a proud moment, like, oh, okay, like I was able to show off my like linguistic skills, but it was also like an aha moment of like, wow, this is a real thing.
Yeah. Oh my
Hmm.
God, that's a really amazing story. I love that. Um, and I'm going to ask you one last question that's more related to students, if that's
Hmm.
okay. I'm thinking about future SMC students or students who are currently enrolled who are thinking about studying abroad or doing these extra projects. What advice would you give them about, doing that kind of exploration or that kind of moving out into the world?
I definitely think it's 100% worthwhile. Um, I viewed it in capitalistic terms. It's definitely an investment.
Yeah, well,
It's an investment towards personal growth, and it's an investment towards like even academic and professional growth.
mhm.
Um, I feel like I felt like since I was in a completely different place, it felt like my reality was completely different as well.
Mm,
And I don't think, like I said, I don't think I would have had the same experience reading what we were reading in Mexico versus reading what we were reading like here. Like
yeah.
if that situation was applied here, it wouldn't have been the same. Because even speaking with the people and like the taxi drivers, for example, we would always have conversations with them and just getting the perspective on what we were reading,
Mhm.
it was definitely completely different. I don't know how to explain it. It was like I was walking through what I was reading.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like me leaving the classroom and it ends there. It was, no, I wake up, I breathe, I eat, I sleep, I see it all. And it was 24 hours, 7 days a week. Um, so I definitely feel like the experience completely shaped everything.
Mhm.
And I would say like if someone has the opportunity to study abroad, to not pass it up, to completely take advantage of it and go. Because nothing will compare to an experience like studying abroad.
Yeah. Oh my God. That sounds like you had a very transformative experience. And I'm so glad that um, because of donations, ILaLS was able to support your experience, right? And hearing you
Mhm.
talk about that reminds me of why it's so important to support students,
Mhm.
going abroad or, whatever it is that you use the award for. And so again, I just wanted to thank you so much for this conversation, and I can't wait to see some of the pictures of all the food that you ate, and all of that. So thank you again, Rebecca, and congratulations on getting the award and for having this amazing experience.
Thank you.